lessons, that they go into a state of engagement that needs to be stimulated by nothing less than real. It's not about a classroom anymore. It's not just about school. It's about the relationship between the school and society. They need to find themselves through a community that works together and sees the world as a joint perception. It goes back to the womb. Something there is engaged. That's a child at 5 months gestation. And you'll see here outside the womb some kind of engagement, which is also, by the way, side by side the adult. And if you look again, another aspect of that engagement is positive. There is in every little human that comes to this school, every one of your children, has a positive attraction to you, wants to be with you, wants to do work with you. This is natural to the human condition, unless it's interfered with. And that same child turns from you to the world, starts looking out at the world. We say the condition is basically attraction. Love of the adult and love of the environment. And we say that, this is my son, by the way, it's about 30 years ago. I can't go on. No. It's a universal child. This is a San Bushman. That is a mother and child thatching a roof. So there's another binding element to this flow. Binding element is called love. It's just a simple attraction. There's a connatural connection between this mother and child, and the support for love is work. W-O-R-K. Work is love made visible. When those little children start to work, whether they're holding a leaf, or whether they're pushing their tricycle, or whether they're painting a house, whatever they're doing at whatever age, that work is a binding effect. That's part of the flow. That's part of the engagement. Making applesauce. Now, there's another aspect of flow is the outdoors. There's something about the outdoors at this school that compelled Mohammed to show me the place and show me with impunity, with great knowledge, these beautiful plants that they were eating at lunchtime. This is the first Casa dei Bambini in 1907 that had a garden. As you go along the history of Montessori, this is in Australia, 1915, Blackfriars, 1914. There's a porch, and outside the porch there's gardening, and there's more gardening. And over here on the right-hand corner, these children are greeting the milkman coming to school. Even the lessons were out of doors, in a climate that was not always warm. It's throughout the whole history. The Bauhaus movement in Germany, right before the Nazis wiped out the entire Montessori population. Most of the teachers were Jewish. But these were beautiful houses which had all kinds of activities that were conducive to flow. Flow requires choice. You have to have variety of duties. You can't just be choosing one or two things. So the variety of what's in the classroom creates flow too. The indoor-outdoor environment, the great saying during the 30s around the Montessori indoor-outdoor environment is no such thing as bad weather, only wrong clothes. Another famous saying was no separation between the indoors and outdoors. There was free flow between indoors and outdoors. There was a lot of observation of plants and animals. A lot of work, natural work being done outdoors. You see here there's a relationship, there's always this kind of a special relationship between these children looking out the window here and these children working in the out of doors. This is the custom that you're carrying out in 2012. I don't see any cots though. Brandon, no cots. No place to take naps outdoors. We'll have to work on that. Where's Brandon? Oh, he's always trying to hide it. Okay, this is a nice story. World War I, 1918. These adults worked side by side, adults and children, in the home, washing dishes, in the home, peeling a carrot, side by side. These were wounded soldiers who worked with orphans from Brussels in World War I. They built a whole school together. The power of the adult working side by side, the child, the power of flow and doing hands-on activity, the enlightenment of a whole community working on creating an area of activity is just what a Montessori community is all about. It's what this community is approaching. It just goes on. I don't have time to lecture. I do a whole lecture on just the garden. The garden is a very powerful medium, and it can be actually more engaging for adolescents, believe it or not, than technology. This is what we're beginning to see. So even in our contemporary schools, a bird blind, a color garden, an alphabet garden, modular gardens throughout the school, you're approaching this. This is just a bean tree protecting the children from the sun. This is a taproot. This is actually my daughter at 15. We were touring different gardens around the country. This is a taproot here that's being exposed by opening the trap door, and you see the root underneath, fasciculated tap, all different kinds. This is a butterfly garden. This is a fern garden going back to the Carboniferous era, or what you might say the Jurassic era. This is a storybook garden. You can do all kinds of things. And I was walking around Brandon today, studying the parking lot, wondering how we could condense the parking and create more land space. The land is a premium here. And it's going to be tough, but I think some interesting things could be done to build a garden approach that is varied and interesting and conducive to flow. Desert, sundials, and this is the British Isles, a land-water form. Composting, right. Now I'm going to do, that's a physical environment. It's geared to the child under 6, while the older children also respond to land-based awareness. I'm designing in Cleveland. I was telling Brandon today that I'm working on a charter school that is blending with the tendency for Cleveland, who's lost a lot of houses, lost a lot of population. People are leaving Cleveland. What does that mean? The houses just sit there and rot. The housing stock is very bad. So guess what they're doing? They're knocking it down and they're planting gardens. And this is huge. This is huge. And so why not build a Montessori school that has this edge on land awareness and the science, all the science behind land awareness. So here's the elementary child. Look at the eyes of that elementary child. Now, just like I gave you a point of view with flow, I'm going to give you another point of view with imagination and abstraction. I want you to close your eyes for a minute. Everyone, close their eyes. Nobody should have their eyes open. Just relax. I want you to think of this gym filled with polka dots. And these polka dots go out the window, so they're expanding through DC. And then they go out of DC into the whole area of Maryland and Virginia and the East Coast and the Northeast and the Southeast, moving to the Midwest, moving to the United States continent, and out into North America, into the world, into space, all the way into infinity. Did you have trouble? All right, so did you have trouble doing that? No, you could? Good. Well, a 10-year-old could do a much better job. They have the power of imagination. I always use that example because you don't know what flow is until you think about it yourself. You don't know what the power of imagination is until you try something like that where you're projecting into space, projecting into time. And so we at the elementary level, Start with the cosmos. Start with the story of the universe. Start with in the beginning, before your mother was born, before your father was born, before there were people on Earth, before there was an Earth, before there was a solar system, before there was a galaxy, there was what? I'm a kid raises her eyebrows. There was God? Surely, maybe. Was there force?